Hey everyone, welcome to the live. The audio should be good to go. And cracking open a bum energy drink. I'm dragging. Alright, to be free and open. Yes, I might sound a little off tonight. I have a cold or something. A little stuffy. Throat's all jacked up. So all day long I've been living off of these nasty little fisherman friends and Dayquil and everything else. So there's that. So if I sound off, a bit slow, bear with me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just making sure everything is streaming okay on my end. Myself, there we go. Just sharing it across the board because we got a lot of information to cover tonight. A lot of stuff that you guys need to know about. A whole bunch of gun laws. We're going to be talking about Tong and some lawsuits that happened that got dismissed. Home invasion in Darien. Coventry passes a new shooting range rule. And then I came across a post on Reddit that was quickly deleted. Luckily, I did grab a screenshot, and I want to make sure we cover it. I'm going to keep all the names to myself, not to get anybody in trouble, but it's something I think you guys really should be aware of, just so you know. All right, so let's jump into it. Of course, we got to plug the merch store. All the good merch there. You know, Connecticut flag upside down, the Young Constitution State, the Navy Way, of course, America's 250th. We got 250 years of freedom through violence, so on and so forth. So please, down in the description below will be a link to the merch store. By all means, just grab some merch, help it out. At the very least, guys, just share this video with everyone you know out there, all your pro 2A friends, hell, even the anti 2A people, and get the message out because, you know, far too many times we run into people that are unaware of what's going on in the state of Connecticut and they're caught off guard. At the very least, guys, just like this video, get in the chat section, get in your super chats, all that good stuff. And about 15 minutes before we get off, we'll jump over to the chats and see what's going on. All right, so I want to talk about some Connecticut bills that are in the pipe. Now, just so you know, Wednesday is the public hearing for HB 5043, which is an act prohibiting the manufacture and sale of convertible pistols. And Bill 5436, which is an act dealing with transfer of large capacity magazines and a bunch of other stuff. So, all right. I was just told you guys can't hear me. All right, let's see. Double checking everything. All right, let me know if you guys can hear me. The mic looks like it's on. It's running. You guys get in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me or not, and we'll take a look. All right, Willie Bird said he could hear me. All right, maybe it's just Mrs. Guru. Couldn't tell you. She can try to refresh her stream. Yeah, everyone hears me loud and clear. Okay. Must be her and only her. She can refresh. And we'll go from there. All right, like I was saying. Public hearing on Wednesday for 5043 and 5436. If you go and follow me on Facebook, you know I've been posting a bunch of stuff. And in the comments section, a few people have posted where the CCDL will be doing testimony. I know tomorrow at Lock and Load, they will be doing testimony all day. So if you're not wanting to submit your own testimony and you need a little help, stop by Lock and Load tomorrow, and they'll be in the gun store doing the testimony It's simple. It's going to look something like this. This is an example on the General Assembly's website, Public Hearing Judiciary Committee, regarding 5043 and HB 5436. This one is by this individual, Town of Waterbury. His position, they oppose. And they say, Senator Winfield, Representative Stratford, blah, blah, blah. My name is... You're supposed to put your name in there. This is a cut and paste, guys. And he's just submitting testimony in opposition to 5043, 5436. And they give some examples why. So it's not hard. Again, there's examples online. The CCDL is hosting different FFLs around the state. Ways to do this. Hell, you could use Grok or Chat GPT to help you out. And then if you go to the CCDL's Facebook page, they have links where to submit your written testimony if you don't want to appear in person on Wednesday. So keep that in mind, guys. You got to get your testimony in. Do I think this will do anything? Honestly, no. I don't think so. I think if these bills get pushed through, like I believe they will be, it doesn't matter what we say, they're probably going to push it through. There was a ton of testimony for, or I should say, there was a ton of testimony against HB 6667 and HB 7042, and they overwhelmingly passed. They flew through, no problem. If you watched the full 6.5 hour stream last year of 7042, the vast majority of people were against it. They had a few that came on that were for it. They were from Connecticut against gun violence, etc. And we know what happened. Ultimately, it passed. Didn't matter what we said. Didn't matter how many of us were there. They passed it anyways. And I'm afraid that's what's going to happen again, because the representatives aren't representing us. They're representing themselves and their special interests. But to recap, I track these bills. So these are the bills that I am tracking for this year so far. It is a short legislative session. So we have HB 5043, an act prohibiting the manufacture and sale of convertible pistols, which is completely made up, but that's Glocks and other things. Anything basically with a cruciform trigger bar. HB 5436, an act amending certain firearm definitions, which that video really took off because it includes like barrels and slides and a bunch of other crap. HB 5451, this came out March 5th. It is an act concerning the possession of firearms on school grounds by peace officers. And then lastly, HB 5454, which also came out March 5th. It's an act concerning the refund of certain firearm permit fees. I want to cover each one of them. So we pulled them up, and we know this one is the manufacture of convertible pistols, which is basically turning Glocks into machine guns, along with the Ruger RXM, shadow systems, and a bunch of other stuff. It's dystopian, and it's there. It's absolute crap. It's garbage. These fishermen friends, they work, but they taste like straight up ass. So, we know what this one is. I've done videos on it. We've already covered it. Also, 5436, an act amending certain firearm definitions concerning the transfer of large capacity magazines and assault weapons. Blah, blah, blah. This one takes effect October 1st. And this will basically be turning barrels and slides and other things into firearms. So they go through and they give you your definitions of shotgun, pistol, revolver, and right here, firearm. And we see what they're adding. Major firearm components, unfinished frame or lower receiver, as defined in 53-206J, as amended by this act. And you keep scrolling, and major firearm components. They're adding this, which means barrel, slide, or cylinder, or a frame or receiver of a firearm. So, it's parts. A lot of these parts they're turning into major firearm components aren't even regulated under the ATF. Now, I'd love to show them to you, but obviously we know TOS on YouTube Lives, I can't touch any firearms. But I can touch my banana. So, the barrel of the banana would be a firearm. The slide of the banana would be a firearm. Things like that. Absolutely crap. And we all know that. And trust me, this video has gone absolutely viral. It's beyond 33,000 views. People are pissed. I don't blame them. But this is what we're looking at. Now, what about the other two, which people did not know about? Raised Bill 5451. This is an act concerning possession of a firearm on school grounds. So we got to take a look at it. I kind of skimmed through them, but I haven't done any videos on these. This would be October 1st of this year. It says a person guilty of possession of a weapon on school grounds when knowing that such a person is not licensed or privileged to do so, such as a person with a firearm or deadly weapon, defined in the section, or on the real property comprising of public or private elementary or secondary schools, school-sponsored activity, as defined in the subsection, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking for any of the changes. The provision of the subsection, this section shall not apply to otherwise lawful possession of a firearm by a person for use in a program approved by school officials or on such school property or such school-sponsored activities. By a person in accordance with an agreement entered into between school officials and such a person or such a person's employer or a peace officer as defined in the subdivision. Also, 4, by a person while traversing such school property for the purpose of gaining access to public or private lands open to hunting for all other lawful purposes, provided such firearm is not loaded and the entry on such school property is permitted by the local or regional board of education. Possession of a weapon on school grounds is a Class D felony. So, sounds like they're just changing a few things. Nothing really that it's affecting us. The biggest takeaway, I would guess, would be if you had to get across school grounds to hunting grounds during the hunting season, as long as your firearm is unloaded and you have the permission of the local or regional board of education, you could traverse the property. I don't know if that was a thing, a problem, or what. But general statute is repealed and the following substitute in lieu thereof. So basically they're going to take what exists, take it out, or replace it with this. All right, it's still illegal, guys. That's just what they're pushing. I mean, this sounds like it doesn't change anything. So that's what this is. Now let's talk about 5454. This is an act concerning the refund of certain firearm permits. Be it enacted by the Senate, House of Representatives, and the General Assembly convened. This will take effect October 1st of 26. It's a supplement to the general statute. They're repealed and the following has been replaced. The fee for a permit originally issued under the provisions of subsection, this section right here, sale or retail of a firearm shall be $200 for each renewal of such a permit and $200. Whoa. I'm just reading real quick. The fee for each state permit originally issued under the provision subsection carrying of pistols and revolvers shall be $140 plus sufficient funds as required to be transmitted to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The cost of national criminal history, it sounds like they're going up in permit pricing. Again, I really didn't look at this one. Oh, I saved it for live, but it sounds like, maybe I'm wrong, they're taking it from $70 and they're bumping it up. Let's see. I'm really gonna have to print this out and dig through it and probably do a standalone video. Recognized Native American tribe, application, blah, 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 except the provided, yada, yada, yada. Effective, renewal, such permit expire 5 years. Expiration of the permit renewed October 1st, 21. No local permit. I'm just looking for other things that might have changed. All right, right here. The local permitting authority fails to discharge any obligation applicable to such local permitting authority pursuant to subdivision or subsection, blah, 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 within the applicable time limits established under said subdivision of subsection, in which case the local permitting authority shall refund $70 to the applicant. Sounds like if the town doesn't get you your permit in time, they got to give you your money back. They can't just keep your money. I'm gonna have to dig into this. Again, I'm sick. I'm doped up. So, a temporary state permit issued for carrying a pistol and revolvers shall expire 60 days after the date. Yep, that stays the same. Renewal required pursuant to subs. Yeah, I got to renew my permit, so 31 days after expiration date. No fewer portion fee paid under provisions of the subsection. They're adding this. Local permitting authority fails to discharge any obligation applicable to such local permitting authority pursuant to the subdivision or subsection, yada, yada, yada. Within the applicable time limits established under said subdivision or subsection, yeah, like I said, they shall refund $70 to the applicant. Now, law said that they had 8 weeks to get this done. And then when they passed HB Satan 7, they gave them an 8-week grace period. Because HB Satan 7 said after 16 weeks, if they failed to give you your temporary permit or denial, you could bypass your town and go directly to SLFU, sign an affidavit, and they'll run you through the system. Oh, but SLFU, we know, doesn't know how to do any of it. So, we got this. Again, these aren't like getting voted on yet. This is just referred to Committee of Public Safety and Security. We'll see what happens. I'm tracking it. We'll see how it changes. All of these are in committee. This one, it's in judiciary. This is prohibiting the manufacture and sale of convertible pistols. The redefining is in judiciary. Right there. 54, 51, public safety and security. It's in committee. Public Safety and Security Committee. Again, they're not voting on these yet. Public hearing is coming up for 2 of them. And we'll go from there. So, you guys let me know what you think. I'll try to have links for these in the description. After the live's over, I'll copy and paste them. And if I don't, I'll get to it like tomorrow or whatever. So there's that. Laws are changing. Listen, I didn't think they were doing any gun control this year because it's a short legislative session and it's dealing with fiscal things. Some of these are fiscal. This one deals with money, the $70 and all that. The other 3 don't. So, God only knows. All right. I also wanted to cover this. This is coming from Connecticut News Junkie. Judge dismisses challenge to Connecticut's open carry ban and handgun purchase limit. So, I'm sure it's getting appealed, but right now, Connecticut's restrictions on carrying guns and pistol purchases remain intact as Judge Janet C. Hall dismissed a legal challenge to the state's open carry ban and the limit of 3 handgun purchases per month. Another lawsuit, another win. Today's ruling tells us that we already know Connecticut's common sense gun safety laws are lawful, necessary, and life-saving, said Tong. Extremists in the gun lobby. Extremists. That's me. That's you. It's you. We'll stop at nothing to eviscerate the protections and flood our communities with even more dangerous weapons. We're fighting back. We're holding the line. I will continue to vigorously defend our laws and public safety against any and everyone in these baseless challenges. Now, I pulled up what Tong said in his press release. Right here, his press release. So, Tong released the following statement, blah, 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 another lawsuit, another win. Yep, we read that. Where is it? Right here. This is what I want to read. The court held that both we, the Patriots, and individual plaintiffs lacked standing to challenge the laws, and that the laws were constitutional. The individual plaintiffs admitted to the state in depositions that they had never purchased more than 3 handguns in 1 month and either had no financial means or intention to do so. Now remember, you guys are limited to 3 handguns a month. I get 6. The only thing that makes me different than you guys is I'm a certified instructor through the NRA and a bunch of others. USCCA, SAFE, and a bunch others. But because I am a firearms instructor, I'm allotted 6 handguns a month, while everybody else is only allotted 3. I don't know what makes me more special than you guys. I mean, I should be able to buy as many as I want, and so should you. I don't think whether I can or not is the point. I think I should be able to. Individual plaintiffs further admitted that they had never openly carried any weapons in Connecticut and had no intention to do so. So the court held that we, the Patriots, had no organizational standing because they did not allege that these laws in any way impacted their core activities and therefore suffered no injury as an organization. Neither individual plaintiff was a member of We the Patriots. The court also held that Connecticut's open carry ban was well within historical and recent precedent. I like that. Historical and recent. Bruin says you can't do things unless there's history, text, and tradition. Recent doesn't mean shit. But most people never open carried. I know that. I open carried for years because I would leave my house, I'd open carry, and I would go off to the range that shall not be named. And I would open carry there all day. And then I would come home and I would open carry. If I had to stop at the store along the way, I open carried. When the law changed, well, at the range was implied you could still open carry. But if I wasn't there, like when I went from there to my house, technically you could open carry still because you're in your vehicle, which is a dwelling, blah, blah, blah. But if I had to stop, I had to cover it. Now, obviously, during this time, I was carrying out of the waistband. And trying to cover out of the waistband, depending on what you were carrying, the holster stood off my body a good bit. So you could definitely tell I had a gun. Today, when I conceal carry like normal people, just in the waistband. I appendix carry. I go about my day. Nobody really can tell that I have a gun. But I'll let you guys know, I have open carried. I never had a problem with it. Connecticut has a problem with it. I don't understand why, but they do. When we go down south to Tennessee, a ton of people open carry. At the restaurant, your waitress comes over there open carrying. It's normal. Not in Connecticut, though. I want to know, did you guys ever open carry? Most people don't. Because it's Connecticut. You're going to Target, Walmart, Cumbies, wherever you're going. If you open carried when it was legal, you got stared at. You were a pariah. And nobody wanted to go through that. Nobody wanted to be the center of attention, getting oohed and pointed at and like scoffed at, like, oh, how dare you. So everybody just concealed carry. That's not the point. The point is I should have the freedom to choose whether I want to open or conceal. Open carry, we should normalize it. People should just get used to it. Nobody bats an eye at a cop open carrying. But God forbid, just a normal person's out there exercising their right. Now that's a problem. This state is so jacked up. Honestly, getting these plaintiffs to be like, to admit that they've never bought 3 guns or more a month or even intended to do so, I blame the group. You should have had better people involved. So they admit they never opened carry, never had an intention to do so. You should have had found people that it affected. I'm just saying. It would have gave standing. But I digress on this. All right, you guys were flooding me with this. I was getting lots of messages, lots of little people coming up to me like, hey, did you see this? Did you hear this? The Darien shooting and what we know about castle doctrine in Connecticut. This is coming from Newsbreak. So in Darien, there was an armed home invasion. The homeowner shot at the home intruders. Connecticut does have castle doctrine. We do not have stand your ground. What this means is, outside of your home, you have to retreat. Run away. As long as you can do so. I mean, if you're backed into a corner and you've got nowhere to go, you do you, boo. In your home, you lock your doors. It's your castle. You have no duty to retreat. Somebody comes in, you do what you gotta do. Now, I've seen some people say, well, if somebody breaks in your home, you have to retreat to a room that's far away and hunker down. You got to call 911 and barricade your door. No, you don't. Castle doctrine is castle doctrine. As long as the part of your house adds to the square footage, that's the best way to remember this. If it applies to your square footage of your home for taxes, you get castle doctrine. Basically, your garage doesn't count. You don't get extra square footage on your house for your garage. It's a garage. Doesn't work there. It's the main portion of your house where all the doors lock, etc. All right, let's see what they say in this article. This is from yesterday. In most places in Connecticut, residents have a duty to retreat before using force in self-defense if another person threatens them. The state does not have so-called stand your ground laws, which does away with the requirement for someone that they must retreat if under threat. Yeah. But if someone is in their home or place of work, in Connecticut, the duty to retreat in order to claim self-defense no longer applies. Correct. You're still getting charged, though. I'm just letting you guys know. You're still going to get charged. They're going to find charges. They're going to bring them up. They're going to ruin you, even if you make it all the way to court and everything gets dismissed. And they get like, yeah, the police overcharged. The process is the punishment. Remember that. Let's see. The article says that essentially is how we know that castle doctrine applies under state law. The concept, which is in the roots of common law, and has come up since homeowner in Darien was reported to have fired on a group of armed suspects who were trying to break into the home. The incident followed another alleged home invasion that occurred 2 weeks prior in Fairfield. Here's what we know about the case. The most obvious place castle doctrine applies is someone's residence. Yeah, we established that. State law also recognizes castle doctrine applies to someone who is a licensed or privileged to be in such a premises, according to the Office of Legislative Research. So the doctrine does not only apply to homeowners. Correct. You could be a guest, a friend, whatever. Castle doctrine can also apply to apply outside of the home and a person work according to state law. Yes. That's if your place of work allows you to carry. Most places won't let you do that. The state law does not allow homeowners to shoot anyone who sets foot on their property. Correct. Property cannot be defended. You cannot pull a Brian Fahey and chase somebody off your front lawn with a gun. That's illegal. It's within your dwelling. They've got to basically break the door down, come in, and then you do you, boo. The Office of Legislative Research notes deadly force is reasonable only to defend oneself or another, or when one reasonably believes deadly force is necessary to prevent an attempt by a trespasser to commit arson or a violent crime. 3. Also, the extent the person reasonably believes it be necessary and only to prevent or terminate an unlawful entry by force into his or her dwelling or place of work. Dwelling is the key word. It's not just a house, it's an apartment, a condo. It's a lot of places, guys. Deadly force is justified in defense of one's property by a person who is privileged to be in the premises and not reasonably believes such force is necessary to prevent an attempt of a criminal trespasser to commit any crime of violence, according to the Office of Legislative Research. What it basically says is you don't have to retreat if you're in your own home or your workplace. If and only if you reasonably believe you're in imminent danger of death or serious bodily injury, said Mike Lauer, a former legislator who wrote the state's red flag law. Yes, when I teach classes, I emphasize this a lot. It is imminent death or great bodily harm. And I tell people, if you have a chance to de-escalate, if you have the ability to draw your banana, point it at them, and threaten or warn, I'm sorry to say, guys, you are not in imminent danger of great bodily harm or death. Carrying your little banana around and then using it for self-defense in this particular type of manner, it's a light switch. You're going to go from carrying to engaging. No discussion, no warnings, nothing. You just go. So there you go. That's the easiest way to remember it. It says some other states have what's commonly referred to as stand your ground laws, which Connecticut does not have. Florida has stand your ground laws. You have no duty to retreat from anywhere. Connecticut, only in your home or place of business. Now, over the summer, last year, we tried to add places of worship, and it was shot down. They said no. See, this removes the requirement for someone to retreat before acting in self-defense, essentially expanding the protection offered by castle doctrine to areas outside of the home, blah, blah. Yeah, that's stand your ground. In Connecticut, people outside of the home and the workplace cannot claim self-defense if they had the opportunity to retreat. Again, I did a video on the lawyer who was in his car getting his ass handed to him, getting beat unconscious. He shot the person, and he was convicted of manslaughter. Why? Because according to the state and the prosecutor, he had the opportunity to escape, whether it be driving away, unbuckling, crawling over to the passenger side, and running away. He should not have engaged. Just, I know what you guys are gonna say. It's self-defense. I get it, but in the eyes of the state, it wasn't. State law in self-defense carves out exceptions for peace officers or a private person assisting such a peace officer at his or her direction. So, of course, cops are exempt. So what happened in Darien? In the full scope, what happened in Darien under Darien Police Thursday, that the incident remains under investigation. What the police have said is that a trio of suspects were trying to get through the front door, and the homeowners saw this, and at least one of the individuals had a firearm. Police said that the group fled from after the homeowner fired. A juvenile matching the description of one of the suspects later showed up at a Bridgeport hospital to receive surgery for a gunshot wound. Now, here's the dilemma. The suspects were on the outside of the house. The victim was inside his house. He shot through the door. Everyone I've ever talked to, lawyer, police, everything, that is not good. You can't do that because they're not in your home yet. Once they break your door open and they break the threshold, then you're getting your castle doctrine. That's when it kind of engages. But if they're on the outside of your home, just kicking your door, beating on it, sorry, they're on the outside of your house still. They're not a threat to you directly at that moment. So you shooting through the door, it's gonna not go well for you. I understand what you guys are gonna say. It's his right. He should be able to do that. I agree. But the way the laws are written today, the way the state looks at it, he could not do this. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it plays out. Again, it's all under investigation. So we'll see what happens. And of course, it's also from Connecticut Police Live. We're not going to cover this one. So there's someone that got denied. I read through it, and it's like they had a prior felony, and that's why they were denied. So it is, it's to be expected. Plus, we're getting close. I want to cover one more thing, and then we'll get to your chats and all that stuff. So get them in. Get in your super chats. I know, that's real lovely. I was totally clogged up. I had to blow my nose. I muted you guys, so hopefully you guys aren't listening to that. So that's what this is live. It's raw. That's just what's happening. All right, let me pull up this. I had to take a screenshot of it, and I really want you guys to be aware of what happened. So I was cruising Reddit, and I came across this, and I want you guys to know. I'm not going to name names. Maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. It says, Connecticut other question. That is the byline, the title. This individual writes, hey, I was wondering if someone could give me some insight or any possible recourse I may have, if any. The other day, I went to a well-known gun range and dealer in central Connecticut. I wanted to have my suppressor inspected after it was dropped from a height, and I wanted the threads inspected. When I went to the woman, who was nothing but nice, but I don't think she was up to date on all of the laws She took both the can and my Connecticut other. Now, this is where it gets interesting. He says, and I quote, "I failed to register the firearm prior to the expiration date. I know. I take responsibility for that. I got a call today telling me they cannot give me my other back, so I went down in person, and they said they would, let's see, and they said they would be charged with a felony, and so would I if they gave it back. I received zero paperwork that they have my rifle or that I received it back. I managed to get the upper after some finagling. My question is, do I have any recourse or should I let it go? They told me to sell it out of state or find someone who can legally own it. I was also told to call CSP, Special Licensing Unit, or the gun shop where I bought it from. Again, I just want the lower back. Any insight would be appreciated." Again, this post has been deleted. So, okay, let's break this down. I know what FFL this was too. Let's break this down. All right. I'm going to make it nice and big. Okay. So he drops his gun. Shit happens. If you've seen my older videos, you know I throw mine. I really beat him up. He wants his threads inspected. Okay? So he takes it to this FFL to have it done, to have it looked at. I want to know what authority the FFL has to check whether or not that firearm has been registered under HB 6667. As far as I know, they have none. It's an FFL. They have no authority. They have nothing. Now, when you bring a gun in for repair, the firearm goes into a repair log, which is temporary. It's not the A&D book, which is different. That's acquisitions and dispositions. That is a transfer. The repair log is not. The repair log is temporary. If they put it in the A&D book, they have to call SLFU for a transfer number, which technically by law makes it not your gun anymore. Just so you know. If they put it in their repair log, then no paperwork's done, there's no transfer, and they should not be doing any of this. So let me bring it back up. He admits to not registering it prior to the expiration date. Well, that's what a lot of people jumped on. Like, bro, why are you admitting to a felony? I was like, denial, brother, deny. So he went down in person, and the FFL said if they gave it back to him, they would be charged. Okay, there's no paperwork. There was no transfer, and they were refusing to give him his lower back. The fact that he had to fight to get his upper back is mind-boggling because that's not even a controlled item. That's absolutely insane. That being said, I want to know what authority the FFL has to keep his lower. They have none. They can't do this. That is theft. That being said, if they did paperwork and they did the transfer, it's not his gun anymore. If they didn't do any transfer paperwork because it's in the repair log, it's still this individual's firearm. The FFL is keeping it and not giving it back. Doesn't matter. According to the state of Connecticut, it's his. Felony or not. This is insane. I'm not going to throw this FFL under the bus. But it's a very well-known FFL/gun range. And I've frequented there. I have bought firearms from this FFL in the past. And the fact that they did this It's not good. Uh, they have no authority to do any of this. This is absolutely insane. Unfortunately, if he fights back, I mean, he admitted it's not registered under HB Satan 7, which technically by the letter of the law is a misdemeanor, but the state, we all know, will trump it up to a felony because they did that to Heather out of Plymouth. I don't know what to tell you guys, but yeah, there was an FFL that just stole somebody's gun, and they're refusing to give it back. I even asked the FFL, I asked Luckin, I asked Nick. He goes, what authority do they have? I said, I don't know. They have no authority. It's weird. I wonder what you guys think. I want to know if you guys can guess where it's at. Central Connecticut. It's not that hard to figure out. And be careful, guys, about bum gouge. I did see this morning. Real quick, it says, this is another Reddit post. It says, I am confused. It says, I have an AR platform registered as an assault weapon that was a former other. And I was under the impression, if I have a 16-inch barrel on it, that I could remove the brace and put on a stock. I was at the gun store today, and they told me I was wrong. I was also told that you cannot put a barrel on it longer than 16 inches. Can anybody please verify? Okay. 16 inches and above, you're fine. It's an assault weapon. You can't make it any more assaulty than it is. Take that freaking brace off the back, throw in a buttstock. Drop that stupid vertical grip off the front. You're fine. It's an assault weapon. If your barrel is shorter than that, you leave it configured with a brace and the vertical grip. It's other, and it's fine the way it is. You can't really do much. But, again, it's an assault weapon, so if you wanted to, you could Form 1 that bitch into an SBR. If you have your assault weapon certificate back from the state, ATF will not touch it unless you do. And you can convert that damn thing into an SBR, put the buttstock on the back, drop that vertical grip, and rock that short barrel. That's what I did. Both mine are SBRs. They started off as an other, they became assault weapons, and I turned them into short barrel rifles. Perfectly legal in the eyes of Connecticut and the ATF. So the gun store. Bro, normally we have pretty good info from you guys, but you really bollocks this one up. 16 inches or more, you're fine. If you have a 16-inch barrel upper and it's an other and you want to put the buttstock in the back, drop that vertical grip, and you want to throw an 18-inch upper or a 20-inch upper on there, you can do that. There's nothing that says you can't. The only time you have a problem is if it's an SBR. If you want to change the barrel length, you have to inform the ATF and you have to go in and update your forms that you changed the barrel length. That's it. It's complicated, it's daunting, but doable. But as long as it's not an SBR, it's just a regular Connecticut assault weapon, bro, do whatever the hell you want to it. I'm sick of these people that give half-truths, half-baked. Listen, before I give you guys any information, I don't just pull this shit out of the air. I ask well-knowledge FFLs, SOTs, 07s, lawyers. I will ask Leos their take on it, and sometimes I'll ask the damn politicians themselves. And then I try to bring you the info. So, there you go. That's all the stuff I wanted to cover tonight. So, let me get into your chats. We have about 9 minutes left. And I am slowly withering over here. All right. Let's see. John Polcarl says, greetings from Watertown. Hey, man, greetings from... Wow, that's nice. Yeah, Watertown. Cool beats. Louis Torres says, hello to all. Let's see. This is all. Everything good, everything good. Mrs. Guru, good evening. Eric, nice. Mrs. Guru, I can't hear you. Mrs. Guru, I hope you refreshed it. Louis Torres, everything to the Mr. Guru and Mrs. Guru family. Nice. More icons. Let's see. Someone redacted their message. Whatever. I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. Thumbs up. I can hear you perfectly. Look like we're losing our freedoms. Louis Torres, you have no idea. Jay Form here in Bristol. I was just in Bristol. I was at Wolf's. Be there tomorrow too. Region Lehman Charlie. If you guys don't know what Lehman Charlie means, that means loud and clear. Let's see. John 4862. Loud and clear. Louis Torres. The Washington, D.C. court overturned their mag ban for D.C. Yes. And it does not affect us here. I wish it did. But right now, hey, that's good precedent. Because even their Court of Appeals, and they're super liberal, goes, yeah, this is unconstitutional. That's great. Hopefully SCOTUS will pick up one of our damn cases, and the same thing will happen across the land for everybody. Now, last I heard, they went to cert yesterday. Were they heard? I don't know. Were they pushed off? I don't know. I did put a list on Facebook of all the ones that were moved around in the schedule. We will see. Maybe Monday or Tuesday we'll have an idea of whether they heard it or if it was pushed off again, which is just kicking the bucket down the road. Jay Foreman, are you going? No, I will not be there Wednesday for the thing. I'm going to do my written testimony. Let's see. CCDL outreach volunteer. If anyone needs help submitting testimony, I will be in Fairfield. Yes, Papachulo. I saw some of your posts and comments under my posts. Well, I mean, guys, if you're in that area, you need one, go see them. Go get help. Let's see. Bob Chulo says Fairfield County Firearms Range in Norwalk, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Guys, tomorrow, it's Sunday. Wake up, go to church, do whatever it is you do Sunday morning, and then take your ass down to one of these places where they are doing testimonies. Get your testimony in. Sick and tired of everyone bitching about these gun laws, and then they do nothing to help. We see it all the time. Louis Torres, everything goes through in Connecticut. Yes, especially the governor's bill, which is the one that bans Glocks. That's a governor bill. It's going to go through. John 4862. It unfortunately looks like that it's going to go past. Legislators will blindly the bills with important immediate legislation that must pass to keep our state running. They're already setting this up. Yes, it will be pushed into something. It'll just go through. Again, we got to see what it comes out as. Right now, it just says moving forward, we'll ban manufacturing and selling, which means everybody gets to keep what they've got. But we got to see if they try to not do a grandfather clause, much like what Virginia's doing, where people are being forced to surrender their magazines and their guns. Unless, I like that. They said in Virginia, you could keep your ARs. You could keep them. As long as you allow the state to come in and inspect their storage anytime, any place. No warrant needed. Like, wow. That's like your Fourth Amendment at that point. Louis Torres says they just ignore the gun owners. Yes, they do. We noticed that with 7042. When we gave facts, data, stats, we gave insight, and then we had the other side that goes, we don't like guns. And the politicians were like, so eloquent, so amazing. And they were just morons. I mean, they literally lied about stuff. They talked about shit they had no idea. Like AR-15s vaporizing children. How it's illegal to hunt with an AR-15 because it blows the deer up. Lies. lies, because there's no way somebody is that stupid and they believe that. It's just all lies. They've got to know better. Oh, Mrs. Guru says she can hear me now. That's good. She's not that far. She's right up that way. Louis Torres, Monday. I will know that the Supreme Court, what they expect or not. We'll see. John says it should be a bundle, these bills. Sorry, I didn't have my glasses on. Louis Torres, Thursday they might introduce the bill nationwide carry. I saw. Hopefully they can ram that bitch through. Now listen, I teach Connecticut and Utah, and I enjoy teaching them. If they pushed national reciprocity, I would no longer have to teach Utah, so I'd be losing some money. Josh at Lock and Low would no longer teach Rhode Island, Florida, Massachusetts, or the other states that we offer, and we'd lose money. We would just offer Connecticut. But is it worth it? Yes. I would rather have national reciprocity in all 50 states and territories off just my Connecticut permit than to be nickel and diming to death people out there trying to stay compliant with all these daft laws. Mrs. Guru is probably going to beat me for that one. But that's how I feel. I got a permit. I should be able to carry in all 50 states like a driver's license. As you try immersion, it works. Taste nasty, but works. So, John, last night before I went to bed, I had fire cider, which after this live stream, I'm going to get some fire cider. This stuff is revolting. It is a home remedy thing. The ingredients are pretty gnarly, but we got it from the Farmers Co-op down in Tennessee where we're at, and this stuff, it works. It definitely made last night bearable, but you're only supposed to have a certain amount of it per day, because this stuff, it tears up your insides pretty bad. I can't wait for the Zoom meeting. This shit's going to get ridiculous. Let's see, Louis Torres. Get banana state scam. Yes, of course it is. Let's see. I want to jump because we're running out of time. We'll look some more. What else we got? Some good ones. Good ones. Bushwhacker candidate. We need a Pro 2A candidate. I thought Ryan Fazio was good, but he said he wouldn't undo any existing gun control. That's a problem. That is a problem. Jay Foreman, I open carried the last 6 months before the law banned it. Good for you, sir. Good for you. Exercising your rights. Just jumping through, seeing... and we got some good ones here. Louis Torres, carrying AR while fishing in Florida. Yes, I understand. Yeah, you can carry an AR as long as you're fishing. It's funny as shit. I watch those videos all the time. I see them online. Oh, I'm fishing. Got a fishing rod, got an AR. I was like, hey, whatever works. Let's see, Tanya Wells. Tanya's new. Essentially what they're talking about, a portion of my life that I devoted to earn the ability to have that possession, extend the castle law to include anything we worked to earn. Work equals time, and time equals life. And then Bushwhack comes back with, yes, Tanya, if we had an armed society, it'd be polite. People would think twice about stealing and doing crimes. It depends where you are. Like Tennessee, armed society, super polite people, etc. Connecticut, most of us are unarmed, and, well, we're shafted. All right, last one, guys. Here we go. This is from King Pew Pew. How long do I have to buy 2 more Glocks? LOL. I just need the Glock 20 V MOS and the Glock 17 Gen 6. You'll have till, I think it's July. I'm looking right now. That's Firearms. This one is if the Glock 1 passes, it goes into effect July 1st this year. So, if it passes, you'll have a very, very short window. Jump all over it. All right, guys, I am slowly losing my voice and dying here, so I am getting off. You guys, Saturday night, go spend time with your family. Go do something else instead of sitting here watching me all congested, trying to ramble on and on and on. I will see. Watch out for sleeper cells. Keep your powder dry. I'll see all of you guys in the next video.